Okay, so setting up my code plug for the MD380G was quite involved. I want to capture how I did that on a video so that I don't forget how to do it again in future, because no doubt I will want to change this again in future. This software I downloaded off the TYT website. This is the normal TYT editing software. It's not all that great. It will do fine for setting up your basic settings, but whenever it gets to managing channels and contacts, it's just a pain in the backside. If you have a whole list of things and there's maybe slight differences between each of the contacts, you're going to have to spell them out one by one, and that would take forever. So I found this DMR contact manager software. This was linked off the MD380 Tools GitHub page, and this makes life so much easier. So I can open up the code plug file, so this one I've got open here, and it will show all the contacts, channels, zones, etc. And I can export these to a CSV file, same for say channels as well. So all the configuration details that appear here will get exported to a CSV file, which we can then open in Excel, which makes life a ton easier. So I can fill out the details in Excel, really easy. In this case, I used a source list. So if we go back to this folder, I downloaded a list of all the top groups on the Brandmeister network. I got this from the Brandmeister website, and I just deleted the rows that I didn't care about. So I used this list, just delete the ones I don't care about, keep the ones that I do care about, and that allowed me to get to this. I cut out the columns I didn't need. I added in this private call or group call column, and I think we're done at that point. So that allows me to save. So if I then go back to the contacts tab here, I can import more contacts from a CSV file. It will append them onto the end of this list. So potentially you might be creating duplicates. You know, if this is like the second or third time you've done this, you can just shift select these and delete them if you've got ones that you're updating. It's smart enough not to re-import records that are identical, but if you change a record by one detail, it will re-import that and you'll then have duplicate records. So one to be aware of. So that gets you all your contacts list. That's easy. The next one, probably the most important one, is the channels information. And I find this almost, it's totally infuriating, almost impossible to use this for anything more than a handful of channels. You can't reorder, you can't copy paste. There is a copy function, but the paste doesn't work, so you can't paste. Control C, Control V doesn't work. So for each of these where the details are only changing a little bit, maybe the name and the frequency, you'd be duplicating all that information over and over again. And God help you if you want to reorder these things, you know, like if you missed out one of these channels, you added all the rest, and you want to add this back in, it's going to be out of order, it's going to be wherever you put it. However, if you do it in Excel, you can put it in whatever order you want, you can slice and dice it however you want. It makes life much easier. So this is the code plug exported to CSV. It comes out in this format. It's not the most readable, but it's way better than the default software. So all I've done is put in the details here. I think it's 16 characters is the limit here. You can maybe just insert a wee macro or something, not macro, just a formula, sorry, in an adjacent cell just to highlight if you've gone over that anywhere and you need to truncate it. The details are mostly self-explanatory. Most of them don't change, but the ones we're interested in are this one, FM or DMR, your channel width, your receive and send frequencies. I think all of these I literally just copy pasted, just dragged it down for all the rows. I don't think I changed any of these, except this one. This one is the CT CSS tone, so they're unique per repeater, obviously, so I've put those in manually. The next column that we're interested in is the digital contacts. So the name here has to correspond with one of the names in the contacts page. So you have to make sure that whatever name you put in there matches up with one of these names. So most of these will just be top group 9, I expect. This allows me, I've set up for every repeater, I've set up access to top group 9 local on time slot 1 and time slot 2. This is the time slot column over here. And also the echo service on time slot 1, time slot 2, that calls through to the parrot. These are like standard features on most of the Brandmeister repeaters. I think Brandmeister has said they're trying to encourage all the repeater people to adopt the same standard. And the idea is that if you move to a new repeater, you don't need to spend time learning how to put it together or learn how to use it, sorry. It should be the same. So I think that covers all the details. One of these other columns is the color code, but whatever one it is, I'm not sure because I've got them both set to number 1, which is the standard for all the amateur radio stuff. So that gives us a list of contacts. Again, it's the same routine in here. You just import them in here, and then finally you can save it to the code plug file. If you then reopen the code plug file in this software, it won't update automatically. You'll have to reopen it. But if you reopen it, you'll see the view changes. So that means that if you want to add in extra channels, if you want to reorder these, it's dead easy to do it in Excel and then just re-import it. The last 2 bits that you need to tie all this together are some zones. So you need a zone so that you can access the channels. So I just created these in this software. I don't have that many of them, so it's quite quick for me to do that. Most of the repeaters are just set up, as I say, with the 2 echo services and top group 9 on time slot 1, time slot 2. That's sufficient for most use cases. This repeater, which I'm near to, which is MD380G, I've added in a couple of extra top groups as well. They have configured top group 8 and top group 9. They're on time slot 2, they're not on time slot 1, so I've just noticed my channel name is wrong. I wonder if I've configured it wrongly as well. Let's have a look. Here we go. So this should be on time slot 2. It is. So I've just put the name wrong. That should say S2. And the same for this one as well. But they're actually on the right slot, so that's good. So they're the only extras I've added in for this home repeater. I've created this home zone information, and I've just collected in some other repeaters that I can hit from my house, and the simplex frequencies as well. I've also just got a wee hotspot. I'm still learning with that, just playing with that, so I've got the frequency for that in here as well. And there's not much else to it. I think that's about it. So with that, you'll have your zone set up. Optionally, you can set up some scan lists. And as I say, the MD380 tools firmware is well worth installing. That adds in a whole bunch of useful features. So it has promiscuous mode, so you can listen to all the talk groups on a particular time slice. That's quite useful. It means that you don't have to program in all the different contacts for all the different talk groups that you might be interested in, and you don't have to list them all in one of these group lists so that you can hear them. So instead, all my channels use an empty group list, and I just use promiscuous mode when I want to use it. Really nice way of working. Other than that, one other thing is the contacts database. I use the one off the MD380 tools website. It will download all the DMR contacts and store them in some unused memory on the radio. So I don't need to fill up the radio memory using this. It uses memory that you can't get to any other way. So it's basically for free. There's a great big memory, an SPI flash chip on these radios, which is unused or mostly unused. And the guys, Travis Goodspeed and all those guys, unlocked the use of that from their MD380 tools. So I would definitely encourage installing that software. I find it a big usability bonus for the radio. Anyway, hopefully that's useful. I think I've captured all the information that I've learned over the past couple of weeks on this stuff. So hopefully if I come back to this in a couple of years, I will still remember, or this will refresh my memory on how to change this